All right, folks, we are sitting inside Revolution Fitness Factory. That is my gym that I own here in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I thought I would give you some of my insight as to what I think the changes that are going to be happening to the Supernatural app are going to be. So, if you're a member of Supernatural, which I am, you probably got a survey in your email with a bunch of questions. It took about like 2 minutes or so to answer. And I wanted to just kind of break down those questions and tell you from a business owner's perspective where I think they're trying to go with this. So the first question is, how disappointed would you be if Supernatural wasn't around? Okay, obviously, if you're a member, you're paying, you'd be disappointed. So that's just kind of just a general question. And then you get kind of a slew of questions like, how often did you work out? How many times a week did you work out? Things like that. Again, all pretty basic questions just to kind of start getting you thinking about working out. Then the first question that kind of piqued my interest came up, which was, what are you doing besides Supernatural? So what I think Supernatural is trying to do is gauge how they could take advantage of what it is you're already doing, like running, yoga, whatever, and try to get you into their environment and start branching out into that. And I'll talk about why I think that's a good thing, but why it could also be a bad thing for Supernatural. So one of the other questions that came up on the survey was, which of the following exercises would you like to try in Supernatural? So when we look at the list, I have it pulled up here. So when we look at the list, it goes strength training with body weight or dumbbells, yoga, boxing, high intensity interval training or HIIT training, cycling with a stationary bike. I like that they had to say that. You're out on your bike. Never mind. Dance, functional mobility training, bar, Tai Chi or Qigong, and other. Okay, so that's a pretty comprehensive list. So when I'm looking at that, what I'm seeing is some things that are already available on the Oculus, such as dance, Tai Chi, boxing, some cycling, I guess, if you look at HoloFit. But what I'm seeing here also is things that are pretty impossible to do with a Oculus headset on, which seems to tell me that they are branching outside of the Oculus community and going into maybe an app-based fitness program such as Peloton or things like that, where for me that's a little shaky because I don't know that Supernatural has the following to get themselves into that market as of right now. But we'll talk about that in a second. Strength training is not going to happen with a headset on. It's just not. I've been doing it years and years. The moment strength training happens with an Oculus on is the moment I quit fitness forever. Not because I don't believe in it. It's just that it's a literal impossibility to do that. Yoga, again, I don't think yoga can be done with a headset on because there's a lot of inverted positions. Like, I mean, even just some simple flows where you're going into down dog and your headset would be flopping all over the place and it would fall right off. That's not going to happen. High intensity interval training, again, not going to happen unless it's some version of what they're doing with the bats and balls. Functional mobility training, you're going to need more tools than is available. So they already have like a extended stretch program on Supernatural, so I really don't think that it's going to reach beyond that in the headset. Bar, yeah, that ain't going to happen with a headset. Tai Chi, that can definitely happen, but that wasn't one of them. And then, but here's where it gets a little tricky for me. It says, what would you be interested in trying outside of the Oculus? So if they're drawing a line here, they're saying that they could do something, all those things that they could do, strength training, yoga, high intensity interval training, HIIT training, they're saying that they could do that in the Oculus. I don't see that happening, but I'm more than willing to eat my hat if it happens.
Where's my hat?
But some of the things outside of the Oculus would be, it says here, guided walks with coaches, which not for me. It might be good for somebody else. Guided running with coaches. They're trying to break it in this Peloton market. I'm seeing it. Strength training videos, guided meditation, audio only, blog posts, which they should be doing anyway with health and wellness tips, yoga, functional mobility, boot camp videos. Again, this was stuff that was also on the previous question, so I don't foresee it ever happening inside a headset. If you're doing high intensity interval training in a headset, that thing's gonna be flopping all over the place and you're gonna be sweating and fogging the thing up, so they need to come up with something to eliminate that fog factor. Then it goes into some like community questions about what do you like about the community, and I think they're trying to start making some changes in their app. Personally, I think their app is okay. It could be a lot better. Finding people on the app is near impossible. It's very difficult to do, especially since it's linked to Facebook. Workout buddy programs, organizing teams and stuff. I really think they're going to start trying to make this app more than just tracking your own workouts. Then it starts asking about what are some other VR apps you use. This might just be trying to gauge the data, like as far as VR chat, rhythm games like Beat Saber, which they spelled incorrectly, which kind of, well, you should kind of know your market, sorry. Action games like Pistol Whip. These are all games that like get you kind of moving, so they're kind of testing the waters here to see what they can break into. So that was the full survey. Now, breaking it down, it seems like on the outside looking in, it seems like, oh yeah, that would be really cool to have them doing all this different fitness stuff. But let me tell you, from a business perspective, this would be a bad move for them to do this. And I'll explain why. Let me explain why. So like I said, we're inside my gym. 3 years ago to the month, I began this studio with a friend, and we wanted to try and cover as much ground as possible. So when we started, we had a boot camp program, we had a Zumba and dance program, and then we also had a yoga program, because what we wanted to do was try to get as many people in as possible doing different things. That bombed, and we almost went out of business in our first year, but what we ended up doing was making some hard decisions and cutting everything except for what worked. And what worked for us was our boot camp and strength training program. So now at my gym, it is 100% strength training and boot camp style workout. And that has made us succeed so much better than we were trying to dip into everybody's pot and go, I'll take a little bit of yoga, take a little bit of Zumba, some dance, all this stuff. That didn't work. What did work is us finding our market, figuring out what worked for us, and then running with it. And this is what I think Supernatural should really do. They have a good thing going, and I really think they should stick with their core programming, which is the kind of rhythm-based, but fitness also based style of exercise, and running with that. I think if they start incorporating yoga and spin and all these other things, they're going to get spread so thin that the whole program is going to bomb. And I'll tell you right now, they're not going to be able to compete with Peloton. Nobody is. That is a multi-million, if not billion-dollar company, and Supernatural's not there yet. They're just not. And I know I'm just a lowly business owner, but I also know how business works, and they are going to shoot themselves in the foot if they decide that they want to do all of the things instead of do one thing good. Think about it like this. If you've ever been shopping for a photographer, like let's say for a wedding, we'll just use that as an example, wedding photographer, and you were looking for photographers, what were you looking for? If you went to a website and you saw someone just doing, I specialize in wedding photography, that's it, okay? And then you went to somebody else who did weddings, bar mitzvahs, birthdays, sports events, corporate events, things like that. You got someone who's not specialized. They need to stay specialized, because I guarantee you 100% of the time, everyone's gonna pick the wedding photographer. Are they gonna lose some of the business of the bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah people? Absolutely they are. But that business probably didn't exist anyway for them, so they need to focus in on what's working for them. They have a good thing, which is an entry-level workout program for people who are new to fitness and are trying to get themselves off the couch. I use it too to keep myself moving throughout the day, but it's not a life-changing experience as it is for some people in the community, which is totally perfect for those people. They need to stick with what works and keep going with that. One thing I did not see on there is they need to add more coaches. They need to add more variety to their actual program, such as maybe build your own program. I liked the aspect of having some kind of personal training or nutrition program. I think that's vital because I'm in the Supernatural community on Facebook, and a lot of times I hear people saying, how much weight did you lose on Supernatural? Well, that's not really how things work. You have to eat a certain way and exercise, or not exercise, just eat a certain way, and that's how you lose weight. So I think a lot of that knowledge can be shared, but I honestly do think that they need to not dip into spin, treadmill work, yoga, tai chi, meditation. I don't even like the meditation program on the Supernatural app as is. And knowing that they're considering expanding it, that to me is kind of crazy. So what do you think is going to happen with Supernatural? Do you want this to happen? Do you want Supernatural to try and become a juggernaut in the fitness industry? Why or why not? Just leave me a comment down below in my video. I love Supernatural, and I don't want to see anything bad happen to this great community, business, and program because I feel like it's going to get all washed away if they start trying to dip into other things. My name is Ari from FitPro VR, and don't forget to get your workout in today. Maybe even Supernatural.